The race to qualify for the biggest football competition in Africa is on, the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations. 48 teams in 12 groups, with only the top 2 teams in each group qualifying for the African Cup of Nations in 2025 in Morocco. Don't miss the action, suspense and unrivaled coverage on AfroSport TV and its affiliates partners across Nigeria, starting from September 2024 to November 2024. AfroSport, your freedom of sport.
You're welcome back. This is still Good Morning Nigeria on the network service.
An interesting conversation
of NTA. And our conversation is still on Nigeria at 64. And before we went on break, Dr. Nta, you were speaking on. Yes. You can continue your conversation now.
You see, I believe in behavioral change communication, the communication that can change somebody's behavior to be more positive. Somebody can be, may not believe in certain ideology, but you can communicate, you can talk the person into looking at your side of the conversation. I know the challenge a lot of people have. They talked about, you talked about the president doing well. He can do far much better. You know why? Where he's coming from and the opportunity he has to change things. But look at the challenge. One of the challenges is his media team or his communication team, the managers. They are not able to communicate the gains of the administration. They are not also able to coordinate among themselves. They are also not being able to also talk to Nigerians in a language that they will understand. You can't bully somebody into looking at your perspective. So if we are able to tone down the
rhetorics,
the wave, the high wave of conversation from there, it will be helpful. One, we've been asking. Yes, the president has made an attempt to bring in many young people, many women, but what stops us if we have 50-50 or 75% women to change? Because we are in a crossroad. We are not saying this because women are greedy or they want to collect position. You talk about equity too. There are many people there who are not politicians, technocrats, other people who are very patriotic, and they are not giving even advisory position to be able to say, okay, come and contribute. Call some people. I want to see the president have dialogue with women. Come, let us hear your perspective. What do you think? Especially at this moment. I think it's not late. I don't know what the arrangement is. So what we can change the narrative suddenly, reflecting on the gaps of the past. Let us be able to have, we are grateful to one of the speakers in the past that had a female at his deputy, at his
Patricia Ete?
No, not okay. Patricia was able to get a woman. She's the first House of, yes. She's the first speaker to have, not even speaker, the entire National Assembly since inception. She's the first presiding officer, principal officer to have a woman. Funke, what's her name? Egbamode. She was her spy because I worked with her too. She was the SA media. So why can't we promote that for a while and see what the difference will be? That the principal officers, let the next person that the president should appoint, let him bring a woman. There are many good women in this country, because we are not so much moved by the sex, but we are moved by what you bring into the office. So in the cabinet reshuffle we are hearing about, let us communicate equity. Let it communicate that, look, you don't have to belong to a political background. There are those who don't have the like Prof, I don't see Prof belonging to any political background. You cannot do it. But there are people who can manage to be around and still come out clean. So it's for us to treat Nigeria as our own country, not begin to treat Nigeria because we want to benefit from Nigeria. We have so much. Because I've not seen a country that is as endowed as Nigeria. The soil, anything you put in the soil, it grows. Around where I live, anything I put there, I've planted parsley, celery, everything I planted there is growing. So it's the same vein that any opportunity you work on in Nigeria, it will give you results. But we are not being able to discipline ourselves to come and look for people who are there. We don't even need to go far to look for them. The 36 states and FCT, you'll be able to find people that can get us to where we need to be.
Even
so that
if they are not politicians.
Yes, even if you are not politicians, look for many people who love Nigeria enough. They have good records to say, look, things can change. Nigeria cannot continue like this because the whole world is waiting. Many African countries say, look, we are waiting for you. So we can change the narrative, looking at the, behind and looking from where we are, and looking forward. I'm very optimistic that we will be able to, if we behave well, if we behave this chapter 2, it will be very helpful for us.
Okay,
you know, there is something, finally, sorry. You see, there is something the president did. This national mental health policy. The provisions here with the situation we are facing now is enough to be able to bring every Nigerian to a place of stability, safety. Like somebody said, all Nigerians are mad. Because many people are not able to cope with.
Can you hold it up so that we see it very well? Yeah.
You see?
Yes.
This one, yes, is the president, and one of the major provisions here is to have a commission. We've not been able to see that, and the what do you call it? The role of civil society. If you implement this, you will be where you need to be before before next year. We'll be able to achieve so much. Okay, it's the same government, this President Tinubu, the courage to even do this, the mental health policy, because it's been hanging on for eternity. So it's to just harness little things there and you'll be where you are. Look at this, the manual of mental awareness. So, and look at this National Suicide Prevention Strategy Framework. So we have all the resources. It's harnessing it, getting the right people. Let us diminish the people hanging around corridor of power, hypocrites and people who are what do you call it now? The people who are pretending, what do you call them? Sycophants.
Sycophants.
Okay. Let us de-emphasize that. So the president can do better if he's able to make the government more inclusive. Women, men, persons who are just sitting there in their house with so much knowledge and is not utilized, and they are not people who will bring themselves forward, but many of those who are around the governance table are there. So nobody should play politics with governance.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Ene. You have raised a vital point and you spoke a lot. And let me bring in Professor Yakub now. The policy, how do we handle or promote, just like she said and he said, this policy of inclusivity, you know, including people maybe not from your political affiliation, whatever, but just competent people on merit, you know, to perform. And also, the president tomorrow will be giving us, you know, a broadcast. What are your expectations from this broadcast? What would you be expecting to hear from, you know, the president moving forward?
Well, let me recall the the point that became evident after he won the election last year.
Yeah.
He said he would be constituting a government of national competence. Instituting a government of national competence. Yes. And shortly after, that was short, I mean, he made this statement when he was actually making a speech accepting the result of the election. And I remember also that shortly after that, I was in the U.S. to attend a conference, and I was made to give the after the night speech at the conference organized by Professor Falola, which drew a lot of Nigerians from there, and there were also some Americans who turned up, and I harped on this point, I think the issue is we have to define our politics. Define it. What is the objective? What do we actually want to bring about in this country? And when you define it in this way, you come up with, what one would consider as, factors that may likely even also create problems for you to achieve the objective. In other words, we will have challenges. So nobody is going to deceive themselves to say, oh, well, it's very easy, smooth, easy going. No, it's not like that. I want to therefore draw the attention of Mr. President to look at this comment of national competence.
National competence.
It's a very key point he made on acceptance of his victory. I'm not saying he's not appointing people of competence yet, but I think there is a need for also, just as we're talking of inclusivity, we can use this platform of what he has committed himself to doing to actually address, the issue of inclusivity, to bring up, people who can actually, they may not need to belong to his party. Okay, let them also, because they have, they have contributions to make to the development of the country, to the political development of the country, economic development of the country, social development of the country, and you bring them in. It is going to go a long way, in helping, himself and also helping Nigerians to be on a trajectory that will lift up from, what I usually refer to as the general poverty in this country. We have resources. There is no doubt about this. We have resources, but because we have also not put in place a mechanism to actually, optimize these resources, that's why we remain, underdeveloped. We can't run away from, getting Nigerians, even if it means those in diaspora should be motivated to come back. We can do this. We can do this because over there they are contributing to the development of the societies where they have found themselves. Yeah. They come back here, with the point she has been raising, from the council, patriotism. This is also a very key point. Everybody, all of us, there's nobody, who is anybody. Let me put it that way. There's nobody who is anybody that cannot actually add, even if you call it, very little contribution to the development of this country. Therefore, he needs to go and find out who these are.
Okay.
Also, get people who can advise him on, the commitment he made. Let him, address this, and we'll move. In fact, there are people who want to, find a way of getting integrated into the machinery of governance. Yes. Okay, but they are also very shy. They don't want to go out and be seen to be people who are begging for jobs. Yes, they will look at. They may even push him aside, and in the end, who do we get? People who may not even be so committed. So I think, his government should actually come up with, a policy measure that can attract people, or that he can use to get people close to him. We have the talents. Okay. It's only how to motivate them or include them in what we're doing.
I have had, when the SGF was my governor, I had written to him, including Governor Suswan. I wrote to him that I don't need salary but that I have knowledge to be able to support the state. I wrote application for appointment. People were laughing. So he said, I didn't ask for money. I said no.
You just wanted to contribute.
Yes,
you want to add value.
Yes, add value.
Just want to contribute, and people were laughing. So I agree with you. They found it very strange. When he was governor. And he said, oh, the work, this work you are doing, the publishing, your color is changing. Just go and rest. And there are people who genuinely want to make contributions.
But they don't know how to go about it, and they are not politicians.
And they are shy.
Yes, and you know, most people who get appointment now are those who contributed to the campaign, you know. But if we are, you know, there's this argument that if we are really practicing the presidential system of government, which the US is practicing, you know, once a person is declared a candidate of a party that is going for the presidential election, you find out that he already has a team. He already has script writers, he already has his lobbyists, you know. This is something we miss in this in Nigerian government. Lobbyists, people who lobby for people who are competent to come and serve a government for the collective good of the country. How can we get to that point?
Well, I think how do we get there? We'll look forward to the president's address tomorrow, you know, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is better positioned. Even his mantra of Renew Hope agenda, I think what we look forward to tomorrow is to rekindle the hope. Interestingly, he brought back the old national anthem. So I look forward to the president to hail Nigeria and Nigerians tomorrow. Hail Nigerians and Nigerians that we have survived 64 years, regardless of what we have. This is not a failed nation. And it should also hail Nigerians that it's part of the challenges. Nigerians are still committed, you know, to the task of nation building. I also look forward to the president tomorrow to underscore the importance of democracy.
Yes.
We shouldn't take this for granted. You know, 25 years of democracy. Yeah, but Prof, maybe what we need to do is quality control of this democracy. We've produced presidents, we produce governors, you know, but we need to translate to good governance, and that is about integrity of our elections. But what I even want the president to let people know is that we've come a long way. That democracy may not be perfect, but the alternative to imperfect democracy is more democracy, not less. We can't return to anybody who doesn't have our mandate. I think we need to underscore that. Then, I think the last one is what you have already raised. Tomorrow should also be an opportunity, you know, to amplify some of those progress that we have made as a nation. You know, I'm from labor, you know, that's my background. And I can say that there are challenges of unemployment. You know, our youth, they have all the certificates, BA, MC, MSc, PhD, but they don't have the REIT certificate, which is JOB, jobs. You know, but there are also some merits that we're making some progress.
And skills.
So, as skills, you know, President's even committed to what they call skill upgrade, you know, which is fine. So, but we should also underscore this minimum wage, which had just been signed. Very, very important, because honestly speaking, we need highly motivated workforce. Am I communicating? Yes. You know, and we should be well remunerated. But that we even have a new minimum wage, 60. Indeed, in this, since Nigeria started this business, is significant. It's significant. And we did so through negotiation, freedom of association, assembly. So when does it take effect? So I think the template is out now, effective from...
Is it July or May?
I think it's July. And that was also agreed
no longer
by the
May.
president.
No.
Yes. I also watched the CNG buses, which have just been delivered to some section of labor, road transport. I hope we make that one to be national, to be everywhere.
Okay.
So I think we have to raise the hope that, yet there are challenges, some progress has been made. You know, all we need to do is to consolidate that better. But that requires constant communication.
Okay, we have to consolidate on the gains that we already have now. And like he said, for democracy, you need more democracy.
Just in the last one. you know, we're a bit too insular, even in terms of our foreign policy. I think we should talk about that. I was happy the president made a case for us to be on the Security Council.
Yes.
Nigeria deserves that.
Those are some of the
actually for 42 years.
We don't have more time now.
Okay,
that will be part of the conversation tomorrow.
We have more conversation tomorrow. We have a long conversation tomorrow,
Excellent.
and some of these issues will be discussed. We know that tomorrow is your birthday. Tomorrow is your birthday.
I'm not going to ask you how old you're going to be.
It's an independent, independent baby.
So we're talking to independent Dr.
Independent,
That's why she's so passionate about Nigeria.
Yeah, you see this, the person who made this for me, I was supposed to use it for my 60th birthday.
Okay.
She was born in 1960. She lives in Okene. So the question I've been asking them, I say, so when will you bring such a man from Okene to come for a program like this? Because it makes more sense. Because she was born in 1960. And she's making this. She made 4 sets for me. And she made something very beautiful. So right there, she's so patriotic. She's so generous. And she made it very cheap. Very cheap.
Okay.
So how can she benefit? How would she be part of the celebration at the villa? And why are they always hiding inside the villa to do this?
Yeah, we have to make independence not low-key. It has to be high-key.
Like we used to know you before with our socks.
I want to thank NTA for making independence.
So let me just ask you one question before I sign you off.
Okay.
What birthday gift are you expecting from the president tomorrow?
Just for him to tell politicians, you need to behave well according to this chapter 2, section 23 of the Constitution. Good behavior that will make people happy. I want people to eat. My name, Nta means mother. You cannot be happy when your children are hungry.
All right. Thank you very much, the mother.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Nta, thank you so much. Education journalist, human rights and development advocacy professional. Thank you for coming on Good Morning Nigeria.
It's my pleasure.
And thank you for your contribution. Well, Professor Nuhu Yakub is the former Vice Chancellor University of Abuja and Sokoto. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution.
You're welcome.
And comrade, as usual, we thank you for coming on Good Morning Nigeria.
Thank NTA for making Independence Day not low-key but high-key.
Yeah, comrade. This is our Director General Michael Imodu, National Institute of Labor Studies. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for contributing immensely to this conversation. The conversation continues tomorrow. Don't forget to join us. I am Juma Yusuf.
And I'm Ademola. Do have a fabulous day.